Have you ever noticed something slightly uncomfortable? You can do everything right. Get an education, find a stable job, earn a respectable income, and yet years go by, and financially you don't feel much further ahead. Not desperate, not broke, just stuck. This isn't a personal failure, it's a pattern, and it affects millions of professionals across the US and Europe. Let's look at a very normal situation. You're in your late 20s or early 30s. You earn around $75,000 a year, or the European equivalent. After taxes, health insurance, and social contributions, about $4,400 a month actually lands in your bank account. On paper, that sounds solid. Then the real world steps in. Rent or a mortgage is $1,600, a car payment or lease is $450, student loans are $300, utilities, phone, internet, and insurance come to around $350, groceries and eating out average $600, credit cards take another $250. Without doing anything irresponsible, you're already spending about $3,850 a month. That leaves roughly $550, which looks fine until life happens. A weekend trip, a wedding invitation, a medical expense, a broken phone, a few months where costs run slightly higher than expected, and suddenly that $550 doesn't exist anymore. Here's the uncomfortable part. The problem isn't your income. It's not that you don't budget hard enough, and it's not that you lack discipline. The real issue is that most professionals are optimizing for comfort, not progress. Every financial decision makes sense on its own. A safer car, a nicer place, convenience over friction. But together, they quietly create a system where your entire income is already spoken for. Let's do very simple math. If your lifestyle costs $4,000 a month, you need $48,000 a year after tax just to maintain it. That number becomes your baseline. Any disruption, job loss, illness, market slowdown, instantly becomes stressful because there's no slack in the system. You're not living paycheck to paycheck, you're living commitment to commitment. Psychologically, this is very human. We associate success with stability and visible progress. A better apartment feels like growth. A newer car feels like security. Saying yes to social spending feels like staying connected. And society reinforces this constantly. Your peers upgrade. Your workplace normalizes certain lifestyles. Marketing quietly frames convenience as self-care. So the goal becomes maintaining a certain standard, not increasing flexibility. That's why people often say, "I make good money, but I don't feel financially free." Over time, this creates a deeper issue. Your income rises, but your financial margin doesn't. And margin is what creates options. Without it, your future becomes very sensitive to small shocks. You might earn more than your parents ever did, but feel more anxious than they were. Not because you're careless, but because your system leaves no room to breathe. People who eventually break out of this pattern don't think in dramatic ways. They don't chase extreme frugality. They don't suddenly earn triple their income. They simply ask a different question. Instead of, "Can I afford this?" they ask, "What does this commit my future to?" They prioritize financial space, not just lifestyle quality. Because the real upgrade isn't what your life looks like today, it's how resilient your life becomes tomorrow. This isn't about cutting joy out of your life, it's about noticing the quiet trade-offs you've been making without realizing it. Once you see them, your money stops feeling confusing. Not exciting, not scary, just clear. If this helped you see your finances a little differently, you can subscribe for more calm, honest conversations like this.